Okay, I do want to put into some suggestions as to what we can do, as far as decreasing pregnancies. Okay. Okay, I want to point out in the old days, people married young and had babies young. There wasn't a crisis about teenage pregnancy. People married when they were teenagers. Margaret of York had her first baby when she was 13 years old. She was married. I mean, that was young even in those days, but she was married at 13. Okay, now I'm not saying people should get married at 13. I don't believe that. Okay. But we do have to look at some things. Okay, now, the problem with contraception, it was introduced as a way to decrease abortion. That was why Margaret Sanger got into contraceptive devices and contraceptive pills, was she wanted to decrease abortion. But the problem is they have a failure rate. And when they fail, what do? You're pregnant if you're a female. Okay, so I think that one thing we have to look at is we do have to look at the meaning of the word abstinence. What exactly does abstinence mean? Does abstinence mean necessarily sexual frustration? Or does it just mean not having the type of sex that gets the female pregnant? Okay. Also, I think we have to look at young men. Okay. And maybe encourage them to date elderly women, like postmenopausal women, women who can't get pregnant. Okay. And if you're a young man and you're thinking, why should I care about that? Well, there are 50,000 people, almost all of them male, in prison or jail for non-support, child non-support. You have a dog in the fight. You have some interest there. Okay? So a date with a woman who can't get pregnant might be in your interest. Okay? If gay men and lesbians can have enjoyable sex lives without having the type of sex that can get a female pregnant, then straights can too. So we've got to consider that. Now, but I think so you have to think about abstinence in terms of abstinence from the type of sex that can get somebody pregnant. Okay. And you've also got to think of abstinence in terms of abstinence from partnered sex. You can abstain from partnered sex and still masturbate and have orgasms. Okay. For the ladies, coitus is less likely to, a lot less likely to result in orgasms for us than masturbation. Okay, so I think that encouraging abstinence has to be looked at in a kind of broader sense. Okay, and also I do have to think about for talking to the men. You could have your sperm frozen and have a vasectomy. Okay, because do you really want to put somebody through the torment of an abortion, whether it's legal or illegal? You know, do you want to get somebody pregnant who doesn't want to be pregnant? Anyway, those are some of my thoughts.